Reginald here, and good morning everyone. It's patch 12 today, so let's go through what's here, because there's actually a lot of significant changes that are very good for the game in this patch. When you boot up the game today, the first thing you're going to be greeted by is this menu explaining that all of your currencies have been merged across your entire account. To me, this change is wonderful and is one of the key changes they needed to make that I've talked about already before they started adding content in. Now, personally, I would have been fine if they had added some classes before making this change, but I think most people will be a lot happier that they've made this change before they start adding classes. That way, when the new class shows up, they can just use their pre-existing resources to maximize getting the new equipment once they hit max level with that class. That's going to be a lot better gameplay experience for current players and also for new players as they go along, maybe trying out different classes. So this is just a great change. Another big change, and the one that I'm personally most excited about because I think the gameplay in the game is so good, and this highlights the gameplay best, is the Orc mission board. They've taken a lot of the things that we were all clamoring for, the key and fun mission types like High Shock Troop Gauntlet, High Intensity Damnation missions, and they've shoved them into their own section next to an extra hard mode called Maelstrom, so that us crazy people can go get our teeth smashed in by the hardest mode possible while having the darndest good time possible. And that's great. This game really needed that for us more experienced players, and I think it's going to help give the game a lot of life at the end game where we're all looking for that challenge to keep the game really interesting. I think this is an amazing change. It's going to be a real benefit to the long-term viability of the product as well. Plus, this is what I've been wanting to do the whole time. Every time I boot up the game, this is what I want to do. And I know a lot of people who are like me, and so I've talked about it before, and I think we're all going to be really happy with this change most of all because the gameplay part of the game is so much fun. Before I get into the other big change, a couple fixes and tweaks caught my eye. Two of them I'm pretty interested in as good changes. They adjusted the calculations for burst fire blessings. Hopefully that will help with blaze away on some weapons that have it that aren't getting full stacks. They also lowered Reaper's push force when hitting players for humans down to 5 from 6, and for Ogrins from 6 to 2. This means Ogrins are going to feel a lot more aggressive for pushing into enemy gunner groups, and I'm wondering how that's going to really feel. Hopefully it makes the Ogrin feel a lot tougher. They also fixed the bug where mutants decided to do power squats instead of charging players, and I like that change, of course, but it is going to be a little sad to see that funny bug go. And they've also tweaked down Rager's normal attack duration, and I don't think that means they're chains. I think that means the occasion where they take a swipe at you. Hopefully this makes them a little more dangerous, not easier. I'd like my enemies to try to kill me harder, not less. The final big change is a change to the crafting system and how it's been working around locks. Now, it used to be that you could only reroll one perk and one blessing on any weapon you rolled up. They've changed the system to be you can reroll any combination of any two of those perks or blessings, locking the other choices. Now, I have argued in the past that breaking the locks was probably the best course of action, but maybe not the only course of action, and there might be an alternative approach. So this is the alternative approach Fatshark has come up with, and I am fully aware of much of the criticism levied against this approach, and I think a lot of that criticism is totally fair. But the system has some advantages I don't think maybe it's getting full credit for, so I just like to show you what it's like to roll up a weapon now and discuss some of the advantages of the system for most players in trying to get adequate gear for the average damnation run. Hagvin here is my Psyker, and he has a pretty good Illicity as it is, but I really want one with Slaughterer and Executor. There was nothing in the armor exchange, nor Melks for that matter, so I'm not going to be able to get Slaughterer that way. There are a lot of Force Sword blessings I don't have because I don't play Psyker that much, so I'm going to go ahead and roll up a new base using the unsiloed resources. I didn't have enough money to do this before, so let's take advantage of that new functionality now. With a couple of decent 360 plus rolls with good distributions, let's head over to Hadron's Hard Luck Hurt Box and see what we can get. Hey, I have some cool Darktide content coming out soon. If you like what I'm doing, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Okay, well I just rolled Deflector. I didn't expect that, but I'm happy about it. Okay, well Unstoppable Power is kind of meh, so I'm going to have to re-roll that one. But I'm going to leave Deflector on this, even though it's not what I was going for, and I will turn this weapon into a new base, so I'll just re-roll the +1 stamina, and off we go. I'm going to quick try to roll up another one. Okay, so I rolled something pretty decent here. I got 2 good perks, and I have Unstable Power and Executor, so I actually only need to really re-roll one of these things, though I could easily re-roll one of them into a 25% perk instead. The problem is, this weapon's a lower base than my other Illicity, so I think I'll just take Executor off this one and use it for something else. Well, as mentioned, unstable power isn't that good, so let's throw that level 4 Executor on this, and then I've still got one reroll for whatever I want to use, probably stamina, I suppose. The problem is, and I'll remind you, I set out to get Slaughterer for one of my other Illicies that I already have that's a good roll. And instead, I got another really great Illicy with Deflector and Executor, but it wasn't what I wanted. It's just a good weapon. I'm confident that it's pretty easy to get good to great weapons now with the new system, but it's still not possible to get what you want. Once you have all the blessings unlocked, it should be fairly easy to get a nearly perfect weapon every time you try. You'll go get your 360 plus, you'll roll it up, you'll replace both blessings, you'll tough out whatever perks you have because they're not usually that impactful on most weapons, and so most of the time you're going to have a really great weapon whenever you want, on demand. This system works for the majority case of getting to that like 80-90% threshold. There's still a little room in there for god rolls to really come in and give that excitement factor, and I kind of like that on the whole. And for me, as a person doing an aggressive testing paradigm, this is an opportunity for me to, have two blessings to swap out on the same weapon so I can test all the different things in completely one-to-one scenarios. But if I want to get a specific blessing on a weapon without having them all unlocked already, there's no way to do that yet. So to me, the main weakness of the system now is not the locks, but the lack of targeted blessing acquisition. So that's my proposal for fixing this problem in general, and my general thoughts on how this lock system now works as generally being a pretty good change. It's not what we wanted exactly, but overall it's pretty good. And I guess I'll just leave you with some footage here on my way out the door of my first attempt at a Maelstrom mission. So far, I've heard nothing but good things about these. They're super fun to play so far in my experience of the one run I had. I hope to have the rest of that chain weapon video out this week. I've been working very hard on it, but it's taking a lot of time. And thanks so much for visiting, everybody. Have a wonderful day.
Engaging precision fire!
Exploded! Got her! Kill it!
You have to get into the ventilation tunnel to reach the muffin.
Skeletons running! Watch for the flames! Thy fury fades as grim truth dawns! Onward! Repent! Repent! Engaging critical target! And reloading! We shall drive them into the open!
Everyone's so loud! The barrel's about to explode! They're charging!
Slaughter them all! Glorious Imperium! We are honored to serve thee! Readying kill shot!
Enemy spotted!
All corrupt flesh must be purged! Consumed by its own fires! Talking grenade! Agreed! Then coming back this way. Trapper! I'll miss you, Tox Flamer! We need more discipline! That's what wins wars!
I thought it was gratuitously unfair odds that won wars. That and ruthlessness.
Kill that Poxburster! Poxburster! Boom! vaporized! Crusher! Top strength! Watch fire!
I could target killers like you.
Buster! Got all to pieces!
If you're right.
Beauty, get clear.
Precision fire! Got a dropper! Down! We need not fear that buster! Toast flamer down! Etta!
Tools to tend a battered body.
Flying Ulrich!
I hear a pig again.
On him up!
I want to die.
For the head. Isn't it obvious?
It shall be so! A vile fusion of corrupted flesh!
Meditate station!
Enemy spotted!
Dive! That should end the event.
I've got a lot of movement on the station approach. We can probably hurry.
I suppose. Stop, Flavor. It's dead.
Beauty!
I'm glad someone's enjoying themselves. Guilty's dead.
Beauty!
Have to worry about this night.
Pass the The mutant is dead! Sniper!
I don't want to do
Gone.
this.
Praise the master! Charge fight! Hold it, Major! Judgment come! All corruption! Break it down! Flesh! The snarling ceases! Aye! Wager! Surely a Templar can face one more fight! Aid me at once!
That legit was awesome.